Hello and welcome to Bella Star Astrology. I'm your host, Stella, here to go through Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, October 2022 horoscopes. And this month kicks off all of the eclipse season energy. And you're really going to see it building as all the planets go direct and everything sort of gets into motion. All of the chart will be affected. Almost every single house, either in opposition or directly affected by the movements of the stars this month. How exciting! So, Leo, we're going to start with Mercury going direct in Virgo in your second house. This means money. Money, 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 money on the mind. And really, I would take advantage. As Mercury was going retrograde through Virgo, and really as it was in Virgo earlier this year, you got the chance to really analyze how are your finances being affected? How are you going to take control of your life financially? What are your values in your finances? And being that you're going to have so much activity, not only in, your work houses, as well as your seventh house and eighth house, or your sixth house, seventh house, and eighth house, you're just going to have a lot of energy to really decide what is important to you. So this is going to be really exciting. That's going to happen on October 2nd. Mercury will go direct in Virgo. Then Pluto is going to go direct in Capricorn on October 8th. Again, another work related house is going to be affected, whether it's that you are deciding with Mercury direct in Virgo now what your values truly are. And that's going to change your habits. That's going to transform, as Pluto does, the habits that you do on a daily basis. You're also going to have your health affected and everything else. And really to be more in balance, to create more positive results and maybe work smarter instead of working harder, right? That's sort of the energy I get from this. Then, of course, we have the full moon in Aries, changing your belief systems. There's going to be a big cut to maybe some sort of belief systems that you've been having. And that full moon in Aries is going to be on October 9th. So what you want to do during this time is sort of see where your belief systems have gone awry, or maybe what things are too old or old-fashioned, and what you would like to do moving forward. And there also could be trips or excursions that you've been planning and they finally come into fruition, whether it's a trip you had purchased a while back ago, maybe during the Aries new moon you had purchased, and now the full moon is here and you're going to go and enjoy your trip. Or even better, maybe a big move is in the works for you to maybe relocate yourself. And this is the culmination point where you're able to move into a new area, move into a new city, or even a new country, because of course it's not just, extended travel, it's international travel, international beliefs, and philosophies, etc., that you're going to be introducing yourself to, and sort of ending a relationship between your old belief systems and your old thoughts around maybe a peoples that you didn't know about, or a culture that you didn't understand. Now you're learning about it, and now you're exploring it, or you're leaving behind maybe old belief systems around a culture, around what you believe. Anyway, this full moon is going to be really interesting for you guys because it does affect the ninth house in Aries. Now, Mercury is going to enter Libra now that it's direct on October 10th. And as you move Mercury from your finances, it's going to move into the activities, your interests, your sort of neighborhood, how you interact in your local community. And this is also going to stimulate your mind as well. And seeing that it's in Libra, it might be that you're more interested in things in your local neighborhood. It might be that you become a thought leader, or someone who really creates change in your local community. Maybe you get more involved in your local community, and looking at different ways that you can do that, as well as thinking about, maybe, is this the right neighborhood for me? Like, what am I doing here? Could I be in a better neighborhood? Am I in a position where I could maybe move? You might also be thinking about how you move. So maybe interest in a car might come up, and what type of car it would be. All of these really fun things that happen when Mercury it's in its own house. Even if it's debilitated in Libra because it's not as strong there, it's going to be in its own house, in the third house, where you get your thinking cap back on, so to speak. So that'll be interesting for you. And that Mercury is entering Libra on October 10th. Saturn will go direct in Aquarius on October 23rd. And Saturn has been heavy on your seventh house. It's Aquarius. It's very, justice focused, and how can I be of service to my, maybe my dreams and the things that I want, etc. And as Saturn was retrograde, it was so heavy, had so many lessons, so many things. Once it goes direct, it'll illuminate the reasons why you had to go through so much. It'll illuminate how the path maybe. And if you are patient with the path, maybe it'll give you a solution. Maybe there'll be a solution. The rewards of Saturn, when you work with Saturn instead of against it, the rewards are so much better. If you do the work, if you get therapy, maybe for you and your partner, if you look for ways for you to interact better, maybe with the opposite sex, if you're having trouble getting into a relation, if you look for ways to maybe enjoy the company of your partner and not always look at the little details that might be coming up. The story that I'm seeing here, especially as the month goes through, is that a lot of your habits, beliefs, and your work ethic will be changing, will be renewed, will be different. And how will those changes help to manifest a better relationship? That's really what Saturn is tying in for you guys. And that's happening on October 23rd, the most exciting day of the month, because Venus and Sun go into Scorpio on the same day on October 23rd. And Scorpio, really, I say the solar eclipse is a really exciting day, but the fact that so much activity is happening on the 23rd is preparing you for the eclipse. If you don't pay attention to the things that are changed or changing during that little window of time, that eclipse is going to come at you with like a hot, iron or a bat to the head. You want to be careful and pay attention. Things in your life that are going to be highlighted in your homes, your family, how you care for yourself, how you care for others, your emotional foundation, how that is, being tied into your life, and how you tie into others, the people that you most care about, the people that you most love. And so, as Sun and Venus are in there, and then the new moon solar eclipse happens on the 25th, you're really going to get hit with a lot of, what does my home look like? How can I transform it? What are the new things that I'm adding to it? Some of you might be welcoming a new person into your family. Some of you might be creating a new family. Some of you might be feeling that connection to family. Some of you might be healing those connections to family, or even healing yourself because of those connections. But most importantly, Sun and Venus is going to give you that grace, that light sort of energy of just peace because of the decisions that you've had to make in your family or the things that are changing in your family. But I would say, because Venus is there, for most of you, if you've done the work, if you've faced up to some of the issues you may be having, or some of the things that you may be wanting to improve about the home, physically, like the transformations you're doing, the upgrades you're doing, maybe Venus comes in and it's a really good day. And, now you can invite friends over. Now you can create a more, balanced home. Now you feel more at home in your home, right? Just a wonderful experience for Leos out there. Then, of course, we have Jupiter entering in retrograde into Pisces. So Jupiter was here for a while. So you know the drill. It's been in Aries. Now it's in retrograde entering Pisces. And what we can expect, I want to do a whole video on this, but what you can expect individually is just a transformation in terms of your finances, luck. Maybe there's been a setback. Maybe you haven't been able to get the finances you want. Maybe some of you will get your loan forgiven, or your finances improved, or the finances of your partner. He'll get he or she might get a raise or some sort of upgrade in their career, or a way to look at themselves that is more positive. So they're going to challenge themselves to get into a new career. And so that's going to be the key right here. Like, you're going to find yourself in a much better financial situation because Jupiter's going retrograde in there. But it also if things are not the way they're supposed to be, if you're supposed to be fixing certain things, whether you're supposed to be dotting your I's and signing everything correctly, read everything, look at every contract you might get into because it is the eighth house. Finances, taxes, loans, anything that you might get into during this time, you want to make sure, because as much as Jupiter blesses, it could also exacerbate, it expands everything. So it could expand a small, $1,000 problem into like hundreds of thousands of dollars in repairs or something, or, in crazy things that might have happened during this time. So you want to make sure that you are checking not only everything you sign, but just making sure that Jupiter is doing the good part of Jupiter and not the over exaggerated part. So maybe all of the problems come at the same time. You want to tackle them one at a time and not get overwhelmed. Anyway, moving on, that would have been Jupiter getting into retrograde into Pisces, entering Pisces in retrograde, on October 28th. And then Mercury enters Scorpio. Like I said, lots of Scorpio energy this month. I love it. So awesome, because Mercury entering Scorpio in your fourth house means you have your home on the mind. You have the thoughts about how to maybe transform it. Maybe there is a new technology that you want to add to it, as Mercury is also representative of that. Maybe there's upgrades that you are actually thinking about doing, and now you do them. And so this on October 29th, the fact that you have Sun, Venus, you had the moon in Scorpio. It's not there anymore, I don't believe, but you have the new moon solar eclipse there. Now Mercury enters. It's highlighting big time how your family, how your home, how everything in that area of your life not only is being transformed, but is being blessed, is being super blessed. And although Mercury is not a malefic or benefic, it is a great position for your mind to be able to maybe expand itself to a new idea of what home could be, or where home could be, to a new idea of what family could be, or who family is, to a new idea about how to build the relationships that you truly desire, or even just create more self-care type of energy for yourself. So Leos, that's going to be Mars. The final transit will be Mars going retrograde on October 30th in retrograde, in Gemini. And again, this year, with the fact that the North Node is in Taurus, the fact that all of these planets are being affected, Mars going retrograde in Gemini for a while is going to be such a symbol of your evolution. It's going to be motivating you to look at your friendships in such a blessed way, to look at the way that you have approached your dreams, maybe give you extra motivation, push you to do something outside of your comfort zone, get you more excited about the things that are to come, about the technology, the future, the hopes of what you want in this life. And hopefully that motivation will translate into action. That action will translate into results. And by the end of the transit next year, whether it's Mars retrograde or direct, you're going to see the fruits of all of your efforts. Now, for those of you out there who think, I'm just going to ignore Mars retrograde, please don't. Do something. If you feel the motivation to do it, if you feel the drive to do it, if you feel the push to it, don't work against Mars retrograde, just because Mars, again, is a malefic planet. Its lessons come with a sting. There's going to be disruption. There's going to be difficulty, and face those challenges. You're given the grace to face those challenges because of Mars's strength, just as much as there is that negativity that it brings, but it's also strength. It's also drive. It's also planning. And we have that mutual reception whilst, Mercury was actually in Virgo for a little bit, and Mercury's actually in Scorpio, which is traditionally ruled by Mars, and Mars is now retrograde in Gemini. So there's sort of that inverse quality of these two planets working in their respective signs, or rather in their opposite, right? And just giving you the energy to make things happen. And it could have to do with your home, it could have to do with your professional life, it could have to do with the dreams that you actually have. Maybe you've always wanted to do something you didn't find the energy for. And finally, Mars is in the 11th house in retrograde. And it's like, boom, you're hit with all the positive thoughts, energy, momentum, even the social connections, But again, with Mars being there, be careful. There's could always be a bad intention behind those that you meet during this time or that connect with you during this time. So you really want to suss people out and like, are they for me or against me? Are they my friend or my enemy? And it could be like an open enemy situation. And that's not a good thing. So make sure that you are paying attention to who's really your friends during this Mars retrograde. But I'm really excited for you, Leo. This is going to be a good time. This month is full of activity. Every single house is being affected. Everything is moving. And what you really want to do this month is pay attention to the habits, to the finances, to the belief systems that you have, and finally to be careful with the friends and the people that are entering into your life later on in the month and throughout the Mars in Gemini transit. You want to make sure that they are for you, and hopefully these will be such a great time. If you like this reading, please press the like button. Please subscribe. I do these every month as well as educational videos, which I promise I'm working on. It's just a little bit harder because these videos take, a lot of energy and a lot of, research and interest. So I'm very excited about it. Hopefully I'll be able to give you guys more content than just the monthlies. But for right now, I just wanted, if you are, looking at this month, once you're in October and you see that any of these themes that I talked about were relevant to you, they were related to you, you saw that they happened in your life, please feel free to comment below. I am an astrologer, so I'm always interested in the real life experience of those in every sign and how astrology affects them. So if there was something that resonated with your life, if there was something that happened where you're like, wow, this was clearly in the prediction, please comment below. I would be so interested in commenting back. I'll be answering everybody's comments because I'm so fascinated. And thank you so much for watching this video, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And good luck with October 2022.